Welcome to The Lift with Sheila Robinson-Kiss. Come on in. There's always a special place set aside for you here where you can relax, kick up your heels, pour yourself a nice, refreshing drink, and prepare to be lifted and soar. Thanks so much, everyone, and welcome back. Women enjoying healthy friendships and working relationships with other women. That is the topic for today's video. And as I've explained in the past, a lot of the ideas that I get from my videos come from people that I've met and the work that I do day in and day out. And some time ago, I was sitting with a woman and she had gone through a really horrible divorce, just a bad time in life in general. And I started asking her about her supports, friends, family, what have you. And she said, Sheila, I'm pretty much going through this alone. I've never gotten along with women. I find them petty and I really don't trust them in general. And her statement really struck me. I found it sad. And although her statement did reflect her truth, I don't feel that it reflected the truth about women in general and how women relate to one another. My work is about the nuances of human relationships. I like to take you to places in your mind and provide something of a guided tour, if you will. So today I want to explore the healthy as well as unhealthy dynamics between women in friendship and working relationships. Now, I'm well aware some of you, I'm going to ruffle some feathers. Others of you, the video will delight you. For some, this video may spark a controversy within. But what I love about these videos for myself and for the audience that I craft these videos for, you can sit with it. If something really hits you, watch the video again. Why did that touch me in that particular way? So strap yourself in. I'm going to be candid, but I'm also going to give you some tools that you can use. Doesn't matter where you are in your state of friendships with women or your working relationships. Please lean in because there is something for you here. If you're enjoying abundant relationships, this video will serve as a celebration of those relationships. If it's your relationships are fractured and torn down with friendships, other women in your life, then again, there's something for you here. I'm going to give you some tools to up-level those relationships. Now, my career, very interesting. It has placed me in spaces to understand women's joys, struggles, deeply held beliefs, ambitions, and much of my work is built around lifting up lives in general, but especially lifting up the lives of women. The feminine energy is the energy of emotion, movement, creativity, and mindset. And most of us have blends of feminine and masculine energy. That's a whole nother video that I'll do in the future. But this video zeroes in on how women relate to one another. And the reason why healthy friendships and working relationships with women is so important is that energy as a woman. That energy will help you harmonize, balance, and sustain your equilibrium. That energy, when it's healthy, friendships and working relationships between women, when they're healthy, you will see your divine feminine energy reflected and coming back at you. So that's where that equilibrium loop comes in. You'll hear a lot of women say, I couldn't have made it through this tough time without my girlfriend or without this particular mentor. And they mean that. That's a powerful energy to have in your life. And I want to share some of the problems that can come up in terms of relational dynamics between women and friendships in these particular areas, and how you can create more positive interactions. The quality The quality of relationships that any woman is able to develop, it depends on three things. I'm going to go over all three things. Number one, it's her capacity. Second is the level of support that she has in her life and within. Third is her world view. And I'm going to come back and touch on each of those in a moment. I also want you to know that every woman, regardless of age, even my little Sophie, who's going to be 5 soon, okay, even the little women of the world, we move in our lives between 3 stages. That's high tide, low tide, no tide. High tide, low tide, and no tide. I'm going to come back to those too. And when you understand the 3 stages and the components, you will no longer have problems or very minimal problems in your dealings with women. And by the way, you hear what I'm saying? Well, Sheila, I never heard this before. Let me tell you something about my content and my work. This is original work based on 20 years of observation, life experience, clinical research, spiritual research, all wrapped into one. You won't find it anywhere because it is original. I am a student of many who've come before me. I love Frederick Douglass, Swedenborg, Viktor Frankl. You'll hear me reference Katie Byron in this video. I love her books, so I study them, I love them, but I see no point in regurgitating and repeating work that is already out there. So here you lean in, you get the original content. So I want to go back to explain the stages of a woman's life as I have come to understand and cultivate them. We focus on age. We focus on age so much, but we really shouldn't, because life and how a woman interacts with herself in the world is truly a function of her internal and external experience. I worked with a 14-year-old, and you said, well, 14, that's kind of young, but she could have been 45. She had such an experience growing up in the housing projects of Chicago from the age of 5 years old, raising her siblings. The wisdom was there. She was very focused. Go-getter. I'm still in touch with this woman today. Extraordinary, exceptional. I've worked with women in their 60s and 70s. Very, very limited life experience. Sometimes the emotional maturity is not there. So again, we look at age. It is relevant, but it goes hand in hand with experience. So I want to talk about the tides. You know, the experience, I've already talked about that, but the tides of life that a woman will go through. There's high tide. Those are the times when a woman is good, she is happy, things are well with her. There's low tide, which is the neutral zone, not much going on, kind of a flat baseline. Then there's no tide. This could be a time where she is depleted or sad. Something has gone wrong and really wiped out her energy reserves. And we place the tides of life next to the components that will create the quality of her relationship. I mentioned them already. Let's drill it down. Number one is level of capacity. Capacity is key. Capacity in her mind, in her heart, in her spirit. And capacity is a function of how much a woman's community, her family, her parents have invested in her growth and development, and in turn, how much that woman has grown her capacity by investing in herself. You hear me say, grow your capacity, grow your emotional maturity, and grow your life. Things like generosity, and again, maturity, that's a function of a woman's capacity. The good book says it is glory. It is glory to overlook the offense. A lot of women, they can get along well with others. Things go smoothly because they have that heart capacity. So I don't want you to forget that word capacity. We'll come back to it. Number two, it's a function of the level of support a woman has in her life. I want to draw a distinction here. Support, so much we think about support, we think about partnership. I want to tell you something. I've worked with a lot of married women in my career, and some of those individuals are the loneliest and non-supported women that I've worked with. Being partnered up or having a big family does not go hand in hand with being well supported. A lot of times those women are in such dysfunctional relationships, it's an energy drain. drain. And really, they should leave, because that's where all the energy they need to support themselves is going into keeping their head above water in the relationship. Now, on the flip side, I've worked with a number of single women who they are on a solo journey, either by circumstance or by choice. They are balanced, they are whole, they engage their community, they enjoy robust relationships. It's because they are supported in their lives. So there's more than one way that a woman can be supported. I want you to think about support, think about a building. Where is the base? Is the foundation supported with concrete? Are there strong building materials? That's what friendships will do. A solid relationship with yourself, spirituality, solid relationship with God. That's all the building blocks of support. And if a woman doesn't have support, that's why you'll see some women impeccable on the outside, sharp hair, sharp car, everything looks good, and then you come into the innards of her life and everything is torn down because the infrastructure of support is not there. Number 3, worldview. A woman can only build quality relationships. In direct relationship, does she have a quality worldview? How does a woman feel about herself as a woman, being a mom, her place in the world, her spirituality, her sexuality, her intellect, her ability to make a difference in the world? Does she hold herself as mighty and powerful? The belief about the world and self, it really dictates your entire existence. I don't see my life as a woman in doing this work as singular, as standing alone. I see it as a full manifestation of the community support around me, the internal support, friends, family, what have you. So that worldview being empowered enables me to push this work forward. So don't underestimate worldview and capacity. It all comes back to capacity. If a woman has a worldview as this is a hostile place, no one is here to support me, no one is here to love me, what kind of relationships do you think she's going to have with herself and other women? So again, perspective is powerful. And bringing this all together, high tide, low tide, no tide in capacity, you can see where friendships and working relationships are positioned for a woman. You can't say, oh, just because I go into this particular situation, I'm no longer an apple. An apple is an apple regardless of the situation. So we face things in life and they follow us across relationships and circumstances. I had the beautiful opportunity to work with a woman. She had been in marriage for a number of years, over 25 years. Her spouse passed away unexpectedly, and one might say, oh my God, she was probably devastated, took her a long time, maybe she was depressed. She was certainly devastated, but she rebuilt her life. She actually switched careers. Amazing individual. People marveled at her. I wasn't surprised because I knew she had a great deal of capacity and support in her life. On the flip side, I had an opportunity to work with a woman who was abused for a number of years, in a completely abusive relationship, married 20 plus years. This man passed away, and I was working with her. Basically, it was suicide prevention. She just felt I could not go. It didn't matter if this person had treated her like dirt. Inside herself, that inner strength, that capacity was not there. That worldview of herself was not there. I can't go on without him. I need him for my guidance. I need him for my direction. So do you think, how do you think that impacted her friendships, her relationships with other women? They were very fragmented, basically non-existent. So you see that all of this comes together for really the most important part of the video that I want to share with you. I want to provide some tips and suggestions, 5 tips and suggestions for really understanding women better, your relationships with women, working and friendships, to really keep them up leveled. Number 1, again, capacity. People can't give you what they don't have. People cannot give you what they don't have. I would like to sit here and make this video and say that all of my relationships have been pitch perfect, no mistakes, whatever the case may be. I can't say that, and I'm glad that they all haven't gone well, because it's really helped me understand capacity. And sometimes you will sit and position yourself, I've been so giving, I've done so much, and this relationship, this friendship, there's nothing coming back at me. That's when you have to stop. And look at yourself. Reflection is a part, self-reflection, of having good relationships too. Who's telling you to do it? Who is telling you to do that? Many relationships fall into imbalance because you're not looking at yourself. Why do I create relationships that constantly fall into turmoil and imbalance? And I have to tell you something. If you are a woman and you're constantly having conflict and turmoil with other women, that is a sign, not that you need to look at the women, but that you need to look at yourself, because a secondary function of becoming balanced and emotionally mature is those conflicts and issues fall to the wayside because you learn how to handle yourself differently. So again, understanding people cannot give you what they don't have. So ease up and stop expecting it. Bring the balance into your relationship. Number 2, stay kind and flexible. When you are kind and flexible with others, it's like an internal bonus rewards program. A flexible heart and mindset is part of the success formula. And some of you write me notes, well, Sheila, are you saying anything goes? I'm not saying anything goes. Let's be realistic. Sometimes a relationship can fall into toxicity. It doesn't work for you anymore. It's time to walk away. You can walk away from a relationship that's no longer healthy and still exercise these beautiful strategies of kindness and flexibility. That's really what it's all about. I worked with a woman. Her daughter had a baptism. Her best friend, again, was going through a major life transition. She couldn't make it to the baptism. She blew this friendship up, this long-standing friendship. I've been there for her through everything. This was my child's special moment. She didn't come. She didn't have it. She couldn't get there. She couldn't do it. She was diminished. For that moment, did you stop and think about everything that she had done and everything she had been to you before that moment? So kindness and flexibility gives you an opportunity to pause. I've seen people, particularly women, let their emotions get so carried away with them that they trash long-standing, beautiful friendships for a moment in time. So again, be flexible, be kind, be cool, be classy, keep it clean. And another thing, those friendship and relationship doors that close, when you're classy at an ending, you leave that door cracked just enough. You may rekindle. People change, circumstances change. When you cut off a relationship at the knees, you don't leave it as a future option. And by the way, want to say a couple things about losing friends. I've never lost a friend. Any friend I've ever had is still next to me. What I have lost is people that I am no longer in divine harmony with. We may see things differently, but I've never lost a friend. You keep your friends. They walk beside you and stand beside you. And when it's time to go, it needs to go, but keep it up leveled. Number 3, embrace and accept where you've been positioned. The feminine energy, we are the nurturers of the world. Many of us walk and come with an open heart. And so you may meet a person. Every person you meet, you're not going to have the same rapport with. Every person you meet is not going to be your best friend. That is okay. Become okay with where you are positioned in people's lives, and you'll have a much healthier life. It's no different than walking into Macy's. Some clothing you're going to be drawn to. Some areas of the store you're going to be drawn to. I see a sale here. I like this color. This looks good. And some you're not. And some you're not. It's not a reflection on your soul as a person. It just is what it is. So embrace where your position. I literally have a friend that I see not every year, every 2 years. I'm busy. She's busy. I look forward to that time. It's amazing. And we're both very accommodating and accepting. You know, maybe when our children are up and, you know, grown, we'll have more lunches together. It is what it is. Embrace and accept where you are positioned. And, you know, sometimes you may say, I want to be positioned differently. That's not the way it goes. We earn positions in people's lives. They put us where they want, are more comfortable with us being. So, again, you know, try to sit with that energy of acceptance so it doesn't become such an internal drama for you. And number 4, look within, look within, look within. Stop comparing. As women, oftentimes we stop, we undercut our working relationships and our friendships because we're comparing. There's a book by Byron Katie. I mentioned her earlier in this video. It's called Loving What Is. Get that book. I highly recommend it. That is the book that really pulled me out of the nonsensical world of comparing. She talks about there being certain kinds of business in the world. And people have business that is between God. They have business that is between themselves and other people. And I'll tell you, when you are sending that energy of jealousy or you're comparing, you are standing in between that woman's business. That's between her and God. That house she got, that car she got, that relationship or that divorce or those children or that whatever, that new necklace she has, that's between her and God. That's something that the Lord wanted to do for her or didn't want to do for her. And you don't want to get into that business. And that's what comparing and jealousy is all about. So get yourself out of that mindset. Her walk is her walk. And a lot of times we look at someone, I wish I had that. You probably wouldn't if you knew the story behind it. You cannot know someone's full walk just by the picture that you see. So get into your own business with the Lord and stay out of her business. And number 5, be a blessing to the women in your life. Be a blessing. Be a blessing. If you are a blessing to your friends and alliances, you will continually be blessed. Consciously say what I'm here to do. And this is what I do with all of my relationships. And if I can't bless you, I will take myself out of your life if I don't feel like I can be a blessing, because or you're not enjoying the friendship or the working relationship, because that is just my soul. That's my soul intention. And some of you say, Sheila, you're talking about being a blessing, but no one is blessing me. Now the Lord clearly says that you take care of mine and I'll take care of yours. Stop looking to the people that you're blessing to be a blessing. The Lord will take care of you. Just focus on, let me uplift and support my friend. Let me uplift and support my working counterpart in this alliance, and you will see that everything starts to flow together for the greater good. Your blessings, I promise you, they will come. People tell me all the time, how did you get this opportunity? How did you meet this person? Stuff just drops in. It's the Lord. I'm focused in on this work. I want to be a blessing to you, the people in my life. Don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about the rest. It's all coming to fruition. I hope this video has made a difference for you as a woman, and if you're not, I hope it's just the information has made a difference in general. The bottom line is take a look at yourself, your inner capacity, grow it, and enjoy those friendships, enjoy those working relationships, and I'll see you next time.